Good morning, and thank you very much for joining us. I am Iyori Folani. Hope we meet you well. We know you're still chilling in the Independence chill. So it is that here we are upon a fine Monday, and all of us, well, I just added us, hopefully, but all of you out there are able to be chilling. Not that we have any issues with that. Of course, it's because our 62nd independence anniversary came and went, and it was on the weekend, it was on a Saturday. And so here we are. So we'll look at that naturally, that's where we'll be. As you will recall, because you must have listened to the president's speech, you look at it, and if I were to quote directly here, the President Buhari, reminded us of the background to his service. And I quote directly, he said he pledged to improve the economy, tackle corruption, fight insecurity. And as the president put it, this was further strengthened by his commitment to lift 100 million Nigerians out of poverty in 10 years. The president also gave an assessment so far. He said, to the glory of God and his grace, as well as the commitment and passion displayed by many Nigerian supporters, we have made appreciable progress in those areas, but the president admitted we are not yet at our destination. So, of course, you know the rest because we all heard the speech as well. Well, my guests, we've spoken about our guests this morning, and let me start off, if I could, with Dr. Nwachukwu Anakwenze, who is with us remotely, and so we can't take any chances. So coming to you, sir, former PDP presidential aspirant and medical practitioner, what would be your assessment? Has it been fair going, all other things considered?
Yeah, I'm Dr. Anakwenze from Los Angeles. The speech is very disappointing, particularly for the future young Nigerians whose youth have been destroyed and decimated. Lifting people from poverty, that cannot be further from the truth. Nigerians are poorer now than ever. I'll ask any Nigerians, are you better off today than you were before? Everybody cries, they can't buy gasoline, every price is going up, inflation is going crazy. The dollar to naira is $1 to 7.40. How is that sign of progress? In a country where God have blessed us with everything that he can endow any humans. The only reason we have problems is because we have bad leaders that are corrupt. What kind of corruption has he fought? I'm here in America, every time they want to bring free hospital or free university to Nigeria, the people are asking them for 40% bribe, 30% bribe. Someone is coming to build a hospital for you for free. They take it to Ghana, they take it to Kenya. We are very corrupt, and that's why our people are suffering. We have one of the most intelligent youth in the world. Nigerians can compete with anybody, Chinese, Americans. I'm here in America. Our youth are top 5% of America because of bad, corrupted leadership that we keep electing. If we keep electing people like that, we don't have any future.
Okay,
Nigeria
Dr.
was designed by God.
I imagine there'll be much more to say, but thank you for that opening view, as it were, speaking from Los Angeles, which is your base, even as I recall that you did come home in the build-up to the presidential primaries of your party. In fact, we were able to have you as a guest here. So thank you very much for that starter, Dr. Nwachukwu Anakwenze. Let me come to you, Alhaji Hassan Abdulaziz Sani, communications expert and opinion molder. Looking at the president's laying out the ground and then giving something of an assessment, how would you see it? Being a Nigerian yourself, he's worked for you as well as for me, as well as every other Nigerian, which was his pledge.
Yeah. As a Nigerian, right from the inception of present political dispensation, what we saw and what we are feeling in us is a mixture of the good, the bad, and the ugly. And also another mixture of sublime and ridiculous. But what is very clear here, you could remember, let me take us down memory lane so that we'll quite understand what is going on now. Buhari's government came after the government of Goodluck Ebele Jonathan, the PDP government. A PDP government, with due respect to Jonathan, a PDP government that we experienced an economy that was looted to recession. And unfortunately for Mr. President, he always come over as a mechanic when some people must have spoiled their automobiles. When Shagari left, he left the economy in comatose. He came in as a military head of state. Now, Jonathan messed up the whole economy with no apology to anybody. Buhari came in. It's not easy, because what is very easy in this life is destruction, because destruction is not building. Any fool can do that. Reconstruction is painstaking. It takes time. It takes patience. It takes strong leadership. Even Mr. President himself said recently on his visit to Imo State, he said, look, people within me are not even praising me. Very, very unfortunate. People that are in the best know about the administration are not coming out to showcase the achievement of the administration.
How can that be? What would have been responsible for that kind of thing? You're on the same team. Why wouldn't you sing your team's successes?
The issue is that, you see, I see it as enemy within.
Okay. All right. 1 second, please. Thank you very much, Alaji. Coming to you now on this whole question of, you've heard the president, that was just a part, in fact, only 2 paragraphs of his speech. But it serves us because he laid the lie of the ground and then gave an assessment that even as we are still, in the journey to where we need to be, appreciable progress has been made. Your assessment?
Let me start my own contribution with an analogy of a blind man who gave people, who commissioned some people to set a trap to catch some game for him. And then they came and said, the trap we set on your behalf has caught some game. And the man looked at them and said, you know what? You are saying it. It will be hard for me to believe, because not until the meat touches my mouth, I will not be able to actually know whether the trap to set on my behalf has caught some game or not. So what is the import of that? The import of that is that politicians may adjudge themselves the way they like. They may say anything, but for the ordinary Nigerian, what they want to see is their economic well-being, the state of their economic well-being, as at the time politicians are passing judgments. And for most, when we came in, we all greeted ourselves, Happy Independence Anniversary. But we know that majority of our compatriots are not happy. They are not happy with the state of things. And let me, at the risk of sounding selfish, let me go to my home state of Ekiti as I speak. You understand? The whole state is almost cut off, from the rest of the country, because all the roads are bad. And there is only one, all the traffic in the state has been diverted to just one point. And the people of that place, which also happens to be, my own place of Ukemesi, they are crying that even our own roads are going to crash. Is that the kind of thing that people will be celebrating? Yes, like Alhaji has said, we cannot hold this government alone responsible, for the decadence, that has been witnessed, that has been experienced over time. But then You understand? Like I've said, Nigerians believe that government is a continuum. It's a continuum, and they don't want to know who has damaged. All we want to see is that, they want a change, in their status. Nigerians want a change in their status.
Indeed,
So,
indeed, yes.
so,
and in their lives
and
as
in their
well.
lives, they want a change. So, like I've said now, if you go to people of Okemesi, my own place, and you say, oh, we are doing well, they say no, because our roads are almost, So, and these are the things, and that is just one community out of so many. Not to talk of insecurity, not to talk of so many other, challenges that we are battling with. And I want to ask, this is 62 years after independence. I want, we won't come here, it will be it will be pretentious of us to now say, okay, to paper up things and say things are okay. I want you to, Yori, I want you to mention one issue that we were grappling with, pre-independence, that we are still not battling with today. Just mention one. Okay. Is it tribalism? Is it access to justice? Is it denial of rights? Is it corruption? All these were in place before independence. And 62 years down the line, we are still battling with the same issue.
So not yet Uhuru.
It's not yet Uhuru.
Coming back to you, Dr. Anekwenze, yeah, it's been a pretty dour assessment that you gave, but then reasoned. That's your point of view, because the president has said that, again, going by his speech, that one of the areas in which significant progress has been made is in the eradication, using the president's word, of deeply entrenched corruption that permeates all aspects of our national life. And one of the ways in which this was done, Dr. Anekwe, was by strengthening the institutions against corruption. If you could hear me, sir, that's what I wanted to put to you, that you gave the impression that nothing appreciable has been achieved. How about that?
Like I told you, corruption is massive in Nigeria. I'm here in America where they're trying to donate things to African countries. When you tell them, when Americans, you say go to Nigeria, they start crying. And white people crying. Okay. Because when you come to Nigeria, they want 10%, want 20%. No American will give you bribe. If they do, they will go to prison. Everything is going to Ghana. Why is it hard for you to understand? Anything that comes to Africa, they avoid Nigeria, it goes to Ghana. It goes to Kenya, it goes to South Africa. I mean, what do you want me to explain to you?
I wonder if you're speaking, Doctor.
Civil service and the politics.
I wonder if you're speaking, Doctor, even without prejudice to the veracity of what you are saying, I wonder if you're speaking, about your specialized narrow field where you have, 2020 vision, is that the way the medical people put it, where you are very, very clear about it. But when you look at the entire society, the president said that the monumental corruption that, he himself is not denying, he says they have taken, steps to address it by strengthening institutions against corruption.
That's what I beg to differ. I beg to differ. I was in Nigeria there. I stayed from January to June. The whole system is corrupt. Anywhere you go, they want money. Anywhere you want go, they want money. Anywhere they want Ghana must go back, everywhere. I was there for 6 months. I came to run for election. Compare yourself to Ghanaians who are like us. The people like to go there. They are more honest and more transparent. Not perfect, but they are much better than us. I beg to differ. If you accept this, then you're accepting failure, F as failure.
Okay, but staying with you for a while, sir, just for a little bit more. As you just said, you came home when you were on the quest for your party's presidential ticket, which means that you were aware of the problem, of the situation, but that you probably felt that you can address it. Therefore, it was not an impossible situation. After all, you yourself vied to take on addressing it in whatever way it needed to be addressed. Because the way you say it, sir, from my point of view, is that it seems so final that there's absolutely no hope, nothing can be done. Not that you use those words. So I was trying to find out if there are any mitigating factors.
There is hope. If there is no hope, why will I come? Nigeria was destined by God to be a world power. If you count 6 top countries, we should be one of them. Like if you count America, China, Japan, Germany, by the time you go to 6, we're there. That's why I came. I came to change things, to make black man proud, to make our contribution to this world. I haven't given up hope. My hope is on the future of the youth, to help the youth to clean our face and make us look like people. I haven't given up.
Okay.
But I'm assessing it as a doctor that you have cancer.
Great, great. That's encouraging to know. Okay, coming to Hassan Abdullah Aziz Sani in our studio. That point, a lot of Nigerians, you don't even need to be an expert to have an opinion on it. The point the president made about addressing security. I mean, that's a very, very important one, but corruption, because that is at the bottom of everything. He said that, he cited that as one area where significant progress had been made.
You see, about the corruption is still very much with us.
In spite of what the president referred to as significant progress.
Yes.
So you don't agree with the significant progress?
The issue is that you should not expect me to agree totally with Mr. President, because I wear the shoes. I'm a Nigerian. I'm not like the other person calling from diaspora. You see, I'm here, live and direct. I wear the shoes. I know where it pinches. The corruption.
Yeah, but he also came in for 6 months and
forget about
he
6
wore
months.
the shoes. He wore the shoes.
No. You see, if you want to be a real Nigerian and talk about Nigeria, come and stay with us fully. You cannot be outside and be talking about Nigeria, and you'll be a holiday comer or December comer, and you think you'll come here and talk to us. No.
Yeah,
come here.
But he's a Nigerian.
It's a Nigerian.
He's a Nigerian and he has a right.
Wherever
a Nigerian is based, he has a right to comment on his own country. He has a right
to comment on his country.
Yes.
But I'm much more competent to speak about my country than him.
Okay. So going back to the point you made earlier, which is that this corruption thing has not moved.
Corruption is a monster in Nigeria. And all of us must stand to fight this monster. You understand? Bedeviling our space, retarding our progress. The corruption is there. Look, I was here, Mr. Yori, when we spoke about the CBN governor, Emefiele. And we all spoke for him to be removed. He's an inherited guy from PDP. And look at the Naira today. Look, the essence of CBN governor is price stability. Get the pricing right. Why are we talking about dollar now 740, 750? It's because the CBN governor and his subordinates and even the Minister of Finance are not doing their jobs. If you are doing your job, I see no reason why you should not defend the Naira. Because this is an economy that is mostly over 800 dependent on imported everything, including toothpick. Then you allow the fiat currency, you understand, to outweigh our own local currency. And we don't have any legal tender than Naira. And the only way to strengthen our Naira is to defend it against the fiat currency, American dollar. And he's not doing his job. Zainab Shamsuna, she's not doing her job. Godwin Emefiele is not doing his job. You understand? You should not expect Mr. President to be everywhere. He put them there to get things right. And for you today, when people are talking that, you see, people bought to certain ideas, which I don't believe in. They sold it to us, they sold dummy to us, and we are busy amplifying it all over the space. Do you know what they sold to us? We have scarcity of dollar. So we just have to allow it to flow like that. No, we don't have scarcity of dollar. The dollar we have, at the disposal of federal government of Nigeria and at the disposal of our banks is much more than enough to take care of our imports. The issue is that people are abusing the dollar. You understand? People are taking the dollar, they are taking the unofficial rate and go and sell it in the black market, and here we are.
Because our system allows it.
This, look, let me tell you.
We haven't been able to crack that yet.
Miss Henry, you see, we spoke about Abacha, this bullion van, taking bullion van to CBN to loot dollar. Do you think the same thing is not happening today? It's only the style that changes. People are still taking money and take it to black market and sell. The discrepancy between the official rate and the black market is very well for them to make billions of naira while sitting at the comfort of their homes. It's a clear issue. We have more than dollar. The banks are not helping us. CBN is not helping us.
I don't know.
And the Minister of Finance is not helping us.
So
they should sit up.
So who exactly is, which Nigerian is helping Nigeria? Apart from this, what you were saying just reminded me of our oil theft. And nobody knows who is stealing that and how it is being done. All we just hear is that it's a humongous figure. Now, let's look at other aspects, because we're talking about security now. We've heard commentary. Now, no doubt it will come back in again, I'm sure. But when you look at what we have on the ground now, the president has, let's look at security, because security goes with this. And the president feels that, you know, a substantial amount of work and progress has been made in terms of working, quote unquote, methodically in reducing insurgency in the Northeast, militancy in Niger Delta, ethnic and religious tensions in some sections of Nigeria, along with other problems threatening our security. So that just all the trouble spots in the country. The president put that one and said that, look, we haven't been watching them do what they want.
I want to concede some ground to Mr. President on the issue of progress that has been made, you know, on security or curtailing insecurity.
Yes.
But you see, my point of divergence from his own position will be that why did we wait this late? You understand? In the last few months, we've seen some manifest progress made, you know, in curtailing insecurity, especially in the Northeast and then North Central. But why did we have to wait this late?
What do you think of what Alhaji Hassan just said, which is that the president can't be everywhere? He has ministers, he has people he's delegated to.
Yes,
if those are not delivering.
But you see, the thing about it is that there is a limit to which we can excuse Mr. President. You know why? Because the buck stops at his table. You understand? It takes responsibility for everything. Nigerians gave him the job. You understand?
And he appointed all those assistants, all those ministers. He chose them.
You know, he deemed fit, you know, to be able to deliver, you know, his promises to Nigerians. And if any of them is seen defaulting, you know, in his duties, you know, checking in his or her duties, I think, you know, it lies on no other person than Mr. President himself to, you know, show the person, the exit door. So if Mr. President is not doing that, you understand, we can't excuse him. Yes, you can't be everywhere, because you see, one thing about governance is that even though you can't be everywhere, you must be able to pick a team that you think can deliver on your promises.
And Mr. President took his time in selecting this team.
He took his
time.
All
in the for the quest of thoroughness. He wanted to be sure.
He wanted to be thorough.
Yes.
And you see, even when, you know, we've seen cases where Mr. President gave marching orders. How many marching orders has he given? You understand? And they were ignored. They were ignored. And yet, Mr. President didn't do anything.
Okay.
You understand? By way of, you know, sanctioning them for their election of duty.
Well, here we are talking this kind of a heavy-duty talk on the anniversary of our independence, our 62nd anniversary. Normally, anniversaries are happy events, but we are in different times, it needs to be said. And every Nigerian knows that there's a lot more good to come because we have to keep on being optimistic in the face of all the challenges that we're facing. Coming back to you, Dr. Anekwenze, on this issue of security, because your opening answer was all-encompassing, I could almost guess that that is another area that might not be impressing you unduly, the progress made or said to have been made in that area. I would therefore like to flip it a bit and say, okay, you're a Nigerian yourself. There you are in Los Angeles, if I got the city right, and you started from here. I wanted to ask, is there anything that you would concede is better? You know, there must be something, I would have thought, something that the U.S. is benefiting from now, because there you are sitting in Los Angeles and working in that country, and also, you know, keeping an eye on your own country in Nigeria here. Is there any area where you would have to give kudos that, well, this cannot be denied in terms of progress? Dr. Anekwenze? Okay, it does look as if something happened to the audio. I wish Dr. Anekwenze had heard that and would be able to give us a response. But in the meantime, we'll come back to it as soon as we can get Dr. Anekwenze back. Coming over to you then, Abdulaziz Sani. You know, we always ask this stereotypical, almost rhetorical question, is the glass half empty or is it half full? We always ask that sometimes. It's something of a trick question. But I imagine, at least let me speak for myself, if anybody posited that question to me, I'd have to say it's half full, because one must be an incurable optimist. You've paraphrased the idea that we have no other country than our own, although you use the naira. We have no other currency but our own. It's the same. It's a half full glass.
Either half full glass, either half a dozen, either half down or up. We are still saying the same thing. Mr. Yori, our country belongs to all of us. And what we are seeing, you understand, there's a downturn in the economy. There's a downturn. We are all feeling it. More especially, we that are within, not in diaspora.
Okay, all right. In fact, it's good you brought that up, because I am sure Dr. Anekwenze wants to react to that. But in the meantime, we'll take a quick break. Stay with us, please. We'll open the phones as soon as we can, and we'll be right back. Okay, welcome back, and thank you very much for staying with us. And also welcome if you just joined us. You're about the halfway point. And our guests include Dr. Nwachukwu Anekwenze, former PDP presidential aspirant. He's a business administrator and he's a medical practitioner. He's based in Los Angeles, from where he is speaking. He couldn't hear us the last time, so I understand the line has been jogged. So, Dr. Anekwenze, I know you can hear me now. I was saying, because your first answer was so comprehensive, I sort of had the feeling that, I sort of knew what you would say on security. Well, I shouldn't say I knew what you would say. I was guessing that you said that so much didn't impress you in terms of the progress we've been making. So I was asking that you are a Nigerian product yourself. You were made by Nigeria, and there you are. You've been exported as a very valuable commodity to the diaspora. And so you have one leg in there, one leg here with your excellence. So I was going to ask, is there an area in which you would have to concede that, things are indeed progressing in this area of our life that must be expanded upon. I wonder if there's any such.
Before I get into that, someone that's there was saying that I don't come to Nigeria, that I'm coming from outside. I want to let them know I'm prime minister from my village. I'm there. I come to Nigeria every 2 months. I spend 3 weeks. I go for 2 months. I come back. I'm very entrenched in Nigeria. I own factories in Nigeria that employ 200 people for work. I have agricultural business. I have water business. I'm very much involved in the running of things in Nigeria. I come, I spend 3 weeks, I go, I come back every 2 months. Anybody living in Abuja or Lagos don't go to their village like me. So it's when the person is saying that, they don't know what they're talking about. I'm here in America because I left Nigeria, I came here. I have very good grades. They sponsored me to be a doctor. And I run a company of 4,000 medical doctors, 4,000, not 400 medical doctors, mostly white people that work for me. I'm chairman CEO since 1993. I know how things run and run well. I know about accountability. If you don't produce, they remove you. I heard him saying, blaming everything, economy on the minister. Minister works for somebody. In America, the boss, when something goes well, the president takes the credit because everybody's working for the president. If the person is not working well, the president fires them. If the minister is not doing well, the president should fire him. You know, you are the head of the government, you take credit and you take the blame. That's what I mean. In terms of Nigeria, I see future progress if we invest in our young people. Our young people are very smart. They're very good in computers, technology, and all of that. I see we don't have electricity, 4%. South Africa has 4 kilowatt. South Africa have 60. Brazil have 150. We are in the same level. We can fix those things. We have gas that we are flooding that can make light. We have rivers that can be hydro-dammed. We have great opportunity. God have blessed us more than He blessed all the other countries. Japan don't have any natural resources. They make Toyota and they sell to us. But God gave us everything, gold, diamond, silver, iron, tin. I see big future for Nigeria. I'm saying it to wake you up. You're accepting failure, and failure is not an option.
Okay.
I'm interested. Okay. I want all of us, 10,000 Nigerian doctors, they would like to come back to Nigeria. We can have the best healthcare.
All right, doctor. Thank you very much. In the meantime, Yakub has called in. Good morning, sir. Yakub in Dokpemu.
Oh.
Oh, dear. And Yakub held on for quite a while, even during the break. So sorry about that, Yakub, but the lines are open. Go ahead and please weigh in on this matter that concerns all of us. We're talking about it being our 62nd birthday, and the fact that most Nigerians, it needs to be said, are saying that that festive aura, it just isn't there. And it's for reasons that we all know. The president, when he came almost 8 years ago, had made promises, and since coming into office, you know, maybe it's one thing when you're not in office, and it's quite another once you are fully in office, in the system, and then have to work within the system. It must be that, you know, things must have, that's the way we're looking at it. It's like, you said it earlier, that this is our country, and it behoves us to know the system and work within the system. To the charge, to what Dr. Anakwenze said, that if somebody you appoint is not living up to your expectation, then why, unlike anybody else, any other president or country leader anywhere in the world, why aren't you firing people who are not delivering?
I'm not holding brief for Mr. President.
Sorry, sir. I'll let you launch, but let me just take Mazi Okorafo, who has called in, and then you continue. Good morning, Mazi Okorafo.
Good morning, Sayori.
Thank you for calling
Compliments of the season.
Indeed. Happy 62nd birthday.
Yes, we thank God. We are enjoying. We just finished 62 years of independence. I think from 19 next we're talking about 63. But the question is this: economically, politically, if we are assessing all things in Nigeria, we cannot compare Nigerian economy presently with 1960s, 70s, 80s, 1990. From that 1995 come to date now, that's when Nigerian economy started doing it. Now, we should be asking ourselves, what were the formulas or the variables? People in that time, we know that time were dominated by the military era, coupled with combination of the few years of civilian regime. But the question is this. Let's not look at infrastructural facilities in this country. The infrastructural facilities, let's take, for example, roads that were built in that time. Compare it with the materials we use now. Which one is better? That price is better. Because all the that we are spending 20-something years of democratically elected government, all the material they have used to do all this infrastructure, it doesn't last more than 2 years or 3 years. Why is it happening so? And even that very time, we're talking about the military. What the military did was they were doing their job and they were doing quality job. But presently now, the infrastructure facility, the civilian regime are now doing now, the material, those things does not last. Why? These are the reasons Nigeria should look inward. Not the question of saying that we are under democratically elected government. There is no government that will talk about infrastructure that compare with infrastructure facility during that military era and in the educational system. Now look at education. Those days that the universities they have now, when you go to, you sit down in a hostel, parents will come to lecture room at least when I was in University of Science and Tech, the Garden City. We were just 20-something in the university. We had all the facilities, everything there. You go to the cafeteria, you chop food of 15 naira. You balance it. On Sunday, we eat chicken and fried rice. But now, does it happen like that? So these are what Nigerian government, the present administration and the incoming government by 2020 should be thinking about. Because it don't...
All right. Thank you very much, Mazi. We're glad that we were able to get you, and at least you said most of what you wanted to say. Sorry to Yakub. Maybe Yakub is trying as we speak. You were going to go before, but I had to pause you.
Yeah. I was talking about the economy and the security. Ms. Yori?
Yes, this whole business about why don't you sack non-performing people?
Good. You see, as a leader, the buck stopped quite okay on the table of Mr. President as a leader. Whoever failed to do according to the instruction should be fired. But Mr. President, the way I'm seeing him, is not the kind of person that is very good in this hasty sacking. I don't know why. He is in a better position. You as a journalist, when you have the opportunity, ask him, why are you so
because I was going to say hastiness is not always good.
Good.
Yes.
You see,
but the president has had a lot of time. He has had no reason to be hasty.
But you know what? You see now, we are blaming the ministers. We are blaming the subordinates. And Mr. President adduced to that when he visited Imo State recently. But I said that people that we are supposed, that we are in the know, are not blowing my trumpet. You understand? He is talking directly to his subordinates, including the ministers. You understand? So the issue is this. They said, there is one thing they said, something requires hasty actions.
Okay.
You understand? Because as a leader, we are looking up to you. You understand? And very soon, we will now bring out your report cards. What do you have in your report card? Very soon, the ministers will start to exonerate themselves of the blames. But you as a leader, at times you need to, desperate situations requires desperate actions.
So the president could have been a bit more decisive, is
your
thinking. Okay.
Should.
Ada in Jos, good morning, ma'am.
I'm calling from Jos Plateau State. Good morning, Mr. Yori and your guest there.
Thank you.
I wish us a happy independence celebration. I'm happy it went hitch-free.
Wish you the same.
Let me tell you something, Mr. Yori. No matter who you put as our president, there is a problem. The problem with Nigeria is structural. until we address that issue. The structure of this country, let us practice fiscal federalism, otherwise known as true federalism. As far as I'm concerned, there's nothing like true federalism. Federalism is federalism. We have coined that because we know in our sober moments that we're now practicing fiscal federalism. That's why we are having retarded growth. Now, we have to celebrate that we are alive. We are among the living, because life now to live in Nigeria is something else. So that's right, all. But we should not push our luck too far. The way forward is the next president and our administration, especially the National Assembly. They are supposed to come up with policies that will reposition the nation for rapid development. The constitution should be amended in such a way that we can practice that fiscal federalism I've been talking about. And then again, the next leader should give us a sense of belonging. I wonder, Mr. Yori, I don't know whether it has ever crossed your mind. How can our state-owned universities, when they admit a Nigerian, they will now ask you to bring your indigenous certificate so that they now know whether you are indigenous or non-indigenous. You will pay a higher fee. And yet you want the person to be patriotic. Even when the person is born there, the parents pay tax to that particular state. You know, if I have my way, let them amend that. Let them make it a constitutional issue. Abolish all discriminating school fees. Once a Nigerian is offered admission, they should pay the same school fees with the indigenous. That is how to nurture patriotism. After we keep on saying that Nigerians are not patriotic, how can we be patriotic?
Okay.
And average America is ready to die for America. Even Nigerians in America are ready to die for America because of the policies. You introduce healthy policies that will make people to be patriotic.
All right, Ada. Thank you very much for calling in. Before I will come to you, because I was going to come to you, but I want to be a bit tactical about this, because Dr. Anakwenze, he's in Los Angeles, and the time is, running down. I'm going to ask him this final question, so we can let Dr. Anakwenze go. So over to you again, Dr. Nwachukwu Anakwenze. This administration prides itself on its infrastructure achievement. In fact, since President Buhari has come, appreciable, infrastructure all over the country, and especially.
Can you repeat? I couldn't hear you.
I was saying that this Buhari administration prides itself on its achievements in the area of infrastructural development. Surely that can't be denied.
Okay. In terms of infrastructure, I would say I'm impressed with the Nigerian airports, Abuja and Anambra and Enugu. I'm impressed with that. I'm impressed with the banking system in Nigeria. If you want me to tell you things that are working, the banking system in America works like anywhere in the world. The airports are very good. They're well built. If you want credit, then I will give you that. But running a country is more than that. Yes. I'm more concerned that our children are neglected.
Yes. Okay. Thank you very much, Dr. Anakwenze. It looks like, that was just a joke on my part, but it's like you have to acknowledge that much, at least, is being done. You look at is it the second Niger Bridge? You look at that kind of
local Oweto.
Exactly. You look at
Lagos, Ibadan,
transportation, and
Abuja,
all of this.
Kaduna, Kano.
Okay. In fact, go ahead. Go ahead and sing it. Sing Kano, it. So I'll end here.
Kano, Meduguri.
So all of this, although people are saying, but inflation is about to starve me, Mr. President. What are you and your fiscal engineering teams doing?
Look, you are making me to sound like a broken record now, because I've been saying the same thing all this while.
That
I don't know why you are so concerned about me repeating and repeating and repeating the same thing.
You don't have to use the same examples. I mean, you because when I got to
talk about the economy, the economy is in shambles. Yes, because this is an economy that is wholly dependent on imported everything. I have said it.
But also,
you understand. But the responsibility of the central bank governor and the minister of finance is to defend the naira. It's about pricing, price stability,
Okay.
so that we can withstand whatsoever the shock that is coming.
And if a person can't do that job, being theoretical about it, he should be fired.
Yeah.
And that hasn't been done. So that's to one side. Even, you know, although I shouldn't say even Sonny, because no, everybody is saying that.
If a governor did not do that, if the minister did not do that, should be fired. Not the president being fired.
No, not the president being fired. Those people he
Those
appointed
people,
that are not able to deliver.
Let me tell you.
That are not able to deliver.
I've been saying this all this while, Mr. Yori. I've been saying it. When Fowler was in Inland Revenue, I spoke against him. And even including Ashamsuna, I spoke against her. From the beginning, from the inception of this administration, I spoke against Emefiele. Even Mr. George even joined me, said that, look, that man should not be there. Because we brought him from PDP. And being a banker, you see, mostly only one banker proved himself. You understand? Even the other one that came in spoke the truth, Joseph Sanusi. He said, look, stop picking CBN governors from the banking sector. Joseph Sanusi. And Lamidi Sanusi performed wonderfully well. But remaining guys, and Soludo also performed, but remaining guys are out to satisfy the interest of the banking sector,
Okay.
which is not our interest.
All right. Now, to Mr. Dikoke, as we're going now, it's really more, as Ada concentrated in her own contribution about the incoming president. I mean, come February, we're going to know. By May, there's a new guy in office. So I guess Nigerians, even as this administration continues to work full blast, I suppose one now needs to begin to look at hope that the next guy coming on will do a good job. Briefly, please.
Yes, there is hope, even in the midst of all the problems that we have on ground. There is hope. But that hope does not lie with the leadership alone. The leadership over time has not shown responsibility. We can't hide that. But the followership too has not shown that willingness to hold leadership to account. You understand? And so if things must change, we have, the followership must, take its place, of holding leadership to account. We are finding it difficult to celebrate. We are finding it difficult to celebrate, but we should not find it difficult to deliberate on the future of this country. Okay. How do we give direction? How do we give hope? How do we give focus, to this nation? And you see, for me, the life of a nation is almost analogous to the life of an individual. No individual wants to have a better yesterday, but this nation has had a better yesterday, and we are looking for a greater tomorrow.
A greater tomorrow.
A greater tomorrow, so that we will not be referring
it.
to it that our yesterday was better. This is our situation, and that needs to change.
Thank you very much, Mr. Ademola Adegoke, communications expert and public affairs analyst. And I'd like to also thank you, Dr. Nwachukwu Anakwenze, former PDP presidential aspirant, business administrator, and medical doctor. Thank you very much, sir, for making time for us. And we know that where you're at, the hours are crooked. So thank you very much. We appreciate your sacrifice. And also in studio here to thank you,
Mr.
Hassan Abdulaziz Sani.
Mr. Anekwe did not tell us the outcome of his vying for presidential ticket under PDP.
Okay.
You should have told us that.
We're going to have to leave it like that. That's our program today. Thank you very much, all. Thank you very much. Please join us tomorrow for a fresh edition. It won't be as easy as this, where you're watching the thing with your camel going and your coffee going. You'll probably be in your office. But see you tomorrow. Bye-bye for now.